to the SDG Action Zone. All right, we'll take that. We'll take that. While other parts of the UN are about debates and deliberation, in this zone we are here to celebrate actions. Very good. And each day this week we are taking a moment to highlight actions taking place all around the world as a part of the Global Week to Act for SDGs, which is a great moment for me to say, if you haven't posted yet, please do. Hashtag Act for SDGs, hashtag SDG Action Zone, hashtag For People for Planet. Each September, to mark the anniversary of the historic adoption of the goals, individuals and organizations across the world come together in a huge global mobilization to drive action for the goals and to send a loud, clear message to leaders as they gather for the General Assembly that people everywhere stand behind the SDGs. We're going to start with a short video to kick us off and to show the diversity of actions taking place around the world. Roll the tape.
I toured almost all the schools in my city. Say hello to Italian strikers. Hi, Italian strikers.
A sensitization campaign on sustainable development goals.
Your country on board?
We are here to beat plastic pollution.
We're here today to highlight just a few of the actions of the Global Week to Act for SDGs. So to tell us about a new campaign launching this weekend in Italy from the Italian Alliance for Sustainable Development, which was also a finalist for the 2019 SDG Action Awards, please welcome Ottavia Ortolani.
Hello, so my name is Ottavia. I am from the Italian Alliance for Sustainable Development, which we were lucky enough to be finalists last year for, with our yearly Festival of Sustainable Development, which this year will also take place. It will be the fourth year. We started with 200 events and we had more than 1,000 last year. So let's see what happens in 2020 with the international festival instead of just a national. This is the news. But what is going on this weekend in Italy? Saturdays for Future is a campaign which is inspired by the Fridays for Future, because actually today is Friday, but why save the world only on Friday when actually with our actions we can save it every day? In fact, just by doing our groceries, we can have a huge impact on the world around us. So why not give more attention and meaning to this activity? In fact, the objective is to raise awareness among the largest possible audience. The campaign is addressed to the families and the parents of those teenagers that mobilize in the squares, and to teachers and consumers and goods and services companies and retailers, non-profit organizations and the media. This year, so this is the first launch of the campaign. In fact, some of the actions that are taking place, which you can find on the website saturdaysforfuture.it, are that one of the largest milk production campaign is making workshops in its factories around the country on how to use dairy products that are going to expire and how to use their packaging. They are also sharing on their social media some anti-waste recipes. A large supermarket chain is launching Act for Kids, a project in 80 stores dedicated to food education. In Turin, there will be a happy hour only made with fair trade ingredients. So these are some of the actions. We invite everyone to organize events, to interact on social media with the hashtag Saturdays for Future, take the online course on the 2030 agenda that is available for everyone for free online and in English as well. And so this is exactly why I'm passionate about the power of communication and social media to bring together different organizations and people. And so let's see how this campaign works with a short video.
Let's lend our hands to the future. Let's choose to produce sustainably and buy with awareness and responsibility. Reading labels, avoiding leftovers, reducing waste and recycling. Let's improve production and consumption patterns for sustainable development. Take part in the Saturdays for Future with ASVIS.
Thank you so much, Ottavia. Finding local solutions to global problems. That is the approach taken by Global Goals Jams, happening this week in 85 cities around the world. You can see a few of them here from Kigali, Tokyo, Guatemala City, Aguascalientes, Mogadishu, and Sydney. Now let's have a look at a video from the jam that took place last weekend in Cologne, Germany.
Welcome to the first edition of the Global Goals Jam in Cologne. We're a global network of creatives that volunteer to organize and host events around the world, sparking optimism and inspiring local action towards the SDGs. In Cologne, participants have worked together on the topic of migration, SDG 10, reducing inequalities, and SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. During 2 days, we have imagined, co-created, and prototyped possible solutions on education, job inclusion, and the integration of migrants into our local community. The initiative started out from a partnership between the Digital Society School and UNDP. As in Cologne, 85 cities worldwide have hosted jams around 4 key global themes.
We are looking forward to your participation in next year's edition, and we very much encourage you to find ways to take action locally.
Act for SDGs!
This year, one of the largest contributors to the Global Week to Act for SDGs by far is the World Cleanup Day on September 21st. This grassroots movement started in 2008 in Estonia and has grown into an annual movement, mobilizing over 18 million people in cleanups in 157 countries last year. That's the right reaction, baby. They are busily counting the final numbers for this year, so stay tuned and let's give them a huge cheer from the SDG Action Zone. You had your leadoff hitter already. Next, let's have a look at a video from a young Canadian with a big ambition for the SDGs. This week, he is way up in Grande Cache, Alberta. No, Grande Cache. Grand Cache? How do they say it in Alberta? There you go. Taking his 3% project to the community high school.
We're going across Canada, mobilizing 1 million youth, that's 3% of Canada, to take action, to lead, to create the future we want. From the islands, to the farms, to the Arctic North, to indigenous communities, where there's a school, we are there. We're leaving no one behind.
Fantastic. Next up, here to tell us about her innovative organization that is incentivizing changemakers to take actions for the Global Week to Act for SDGs, CEO of World Merit Charity, please welcome Marlu Cornelissen.
Thank you. First of all, I'm so excited to be here today and see so many familiar faces in the audience, including that of my baby. So I'm here telling a little bit about World Merit and with the work that we do. we really try to empower young people to take action in their community by providing them with opportunities. So the world that we envision is a world with equal access for everyone, and where opportunities go to those who deserve it. And how do we do that? So we came up with a model that actually rewards any type of volunteerism, activism, etc. So it's not telling us about what we want our community to do. It's encouraging them to go out in their community, assess the needs of their community, and act upon them. So what the SDGs have done for us is really provided us with a framework and a language to bring the community together and realize that they're actually so much that they can collaborate on. So we currently have a lot of local and national councils all over the world, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the actions that have taken place just this week. So what you see here, I've highlighted just two, and excuse me for the ones that aren't on here, but this is World Merit Kenya, who've been planting trees in line with the climate strike, and Burundi. And the reason why I want to talk a little bit about World Merit Burundi is I think this is a really great example of how our model has worked. So on World Merit Day, on the 24th of July, we organized a campaign where we encouraged our councils to go into schools and show documentaries. We selected 17 documentaries, one for each SDG. And the council with the biggest impact, which was Burundi, won a cash prize that they could invest back into their communities, and that's what Burundi has done. So this week alone, they were the first climate strike in Burundi, which I think is great for a round of applause, maybe. And also they did 2 big cleanups on Saturday. So they are really the example of how, when incentivized and when we create and facilitate an environment for them to flourish, it's really about them coming together and take the local action. So I'm just really proud to be demonstrating just 2 of these events, but make sure if you want to find out more that you go to worldmerit.org to read all about it. And we're partnering with Act for the SDGs, as well as with World Cleanup Day, and I don't believe that there's any competition in doing good. So make sure you check us out, and I'd love to find a way to work together. Thank you.
Let's have a proper round of applause for Marlu Cornelissen. Next up, let's go to Paris to see the exciting SDG action engaging the public all week on the banks of the Seine. Now to Malawi, where the Art Glow Center is engaging youth through creative arts on a tour to tackle issues related to gender-based violence and sexual health, ending up at Malawi's largest arts festival. That was the saddest cheer ever. Let's have a big round of applause for what's happening in Malawi, please. Last but certainly not least, we'd like to feature one of the longtime partners in the Global Week to Act for SDGs. GCAP has been actively mobilizing right across its global network. In this video, we're seeing one of their actions from the Philippines, where members mobilized 1,000 youth, along with people from NGOs, COICA, and the Quezon City Youth Parliament, at the Quezon Memorial Circle on September 25th for a fun run. This event, called Run for Equality, Run for Our Lives, aims to highlight young people's concerns for their future threatened by human rights violations, climate change, and inequality. They assembled and marched in the circle, shouting slogans to ask for government action, and staged a die-in at the end to symbolize their extinction if the government continues to ignore their calls. Let's hear it for GCAP. Thank you, thank you. So we are running out of time, but we covered a lot of ground, didn't we? Absolutely, went all the way around the world. But this is not the end. The Global Week to Act for SDGs is still going on. More actions are happening this weekend, and the numbers are still coming in. This is truly becoming a global movement, and of course it has to. We are thrilled to announce that over 260 million people have been reached online, and 50 million have taken action as part of the Global Week to Act for SDGs. Let's have a huge round of applause for that. And let's continue to build on this momentum as part of the new decade of action. Very, very, very good. We're going to take one quick minute, and then we're heading into another round of lightning talks. So I'll see you in just a second.